Hello and welcome to another episode of World of Warships with Czar Peppers. Today I thought I would upload this rather fun game that I had the other day. I haven't been playing World of Warships a whole lot lately, but I thought I would hop back on with the introduction of the German cruiser line and the Soviet destroyer line. After a few rather disastrous games, I had this game in the German Kolberg class cruiser that I thought would make for a fun video. The Kolberg class cruisers were built between 1908 and 1910. Four were built in total. A few years after their construction, they would serve in a number of roles during the First World War. At the outbreak of the First World War, one was deployed in the Baltic, and the other three were assigned to patrol duties in the North Sea. They had a total of 12 105mm guns, which in the game have an extremely fast reload rate. They were powered by steam turbine engines with a top speed of 25.5 knots, or 47 kilometers an hour, or, I don't know, something in miles per hour. Although they didn't all have the same propulsion system, each ship used engines from different competing companies. This was in order to test these new engines, different engines, see which one was the most effective. Two of them had been sunk by the end of the war, and one ended up in the hands of the French Navy. The other one surrendered to Japan and was sold for scrap. Now you see we are coming in here into A. I noticed these guys are heading south, and we have decent force heading to the north and some destroyers covering the center, so I thought I'd head down with these guys and help them out. I'm just about to come in and get within firing range of this. It looks like a St. Louis. My buddies have opened fire. The one drawback with the Kolberg is it doesn't have particularly good range on it. I think without upgrades it's 8.5 or something. With upgrades it's 9.5. I forget. But we are getting some good ordnance on this St. Louis over here. Now, one thing about you have to keep in mind when you're using this ship is it has a really fast reload rate, and you can get transfixed on your target while not paying enough attention to what's going on around you. So when you are using this ship, even though you can pretty much fire constantly, you do want to take a break every now and then just to look and see what's going on around you. So I am at the moment. We're capping A. Looks like our first ship down. Doesn't look like our team's doing too bad in the center. The north is looking a bit precarious, but we'll see what happens. We've capped A. Perfect. There goes my steering, but we'll be able to fix it right away. Taking a lot of fire now. It's a good time to start heading back. Probably the most important part about this game is situational awareness and thinking ahead of what you're going to do. To a lot of people it may seem like a pretty slow game, but you have to keep in mind that you have to plan what you're going to do ahead of time, because in these ships they're slow to respond usually, and if you get too close to an enemy fleet, it takes a while to get back out of their range, and that can lead to your ultimate demise much of the time. So I'm sort of falling back, pulling behind this battleship, putting myself at an angle, which is also important because an angled ship armor will deflect some shots to some extent. I really love the new gun sounds. Dush, 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 dush. That's great. We're showering this battleship with high explosive at the moment. It's usually the best thing to do when you're hitting a battleship. Although, on some battleships with some cruisers, if you're far away enough to get plunging fire, sometimes you can actually penetrate the deck of a battleship with cruiser guns. You just have to be far away. But if you're not sure, high explosive is always a good way to go. We've got this guy on fire almost from front to back. From something to stern. What's the front of his ship? I don't remember. But things are looking pretty good over here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teammates. I think, what, 2 battleships and 3 cruisers against these 2. So we can begin pushing up to the north. However, our team in the north seems to be having a bit of trouble. They've lost both B and C, and that destroyer seems to be falling back. But we've got another enemy ship down. At the moment, the score is pretty much equal. It could go either way right now. Destroyer just came into view. I'm going to want to make sure that ship doesn't get too close to our battleship. When you're in a cruiser, it's always important that you take out these destroyers before they can get torpedoes off at your slow battleships. Because it's actually quite hard to take out a destroyer in a battleship with their guns. Because you usually have to switch to high explosive, and it takes forever to switch in a battleship. Sometimes as much as 20-25 seconds. So it's always nice to have some destroyers around who can quickly switch to HE and deal some damage to those. We've got torpedoes coming in. Is he going to get hit? Oh, he looks alright. Gunfire coming in from that smoke. What is that, a St. Louis again? Or another Kolberg? What's he firing on? Looks like he's firing to the north, but there's no teammates to the north. Okay, we got this destroyer back in our sights. Let's see if we can finish him off before he does any damage to our team. Yeah, I really love this cruiser, the Kolberg. The guns on it just, it seems like they rapid fire. They never stop firing. Pretty dangerous ship. A few more shots and he should be close but no cigar. Speaking of cigars. Now we do have, thankfully these guys aren't firing on me because I've gotten awfully close to them. This is the kind of situation you don't really want to get yourself into, especially when you got a St. Louis with all their guns. I'm not sure which has more firepower, the St. Louis or the Kolberg. Well, we don't have to worry about that anymore. I think that was the St. Louis. It's hard to see in this video editor. I believe this is another Kolberg. No, St. Louis, I'm pretty sure. There really isn't that much of a difference between their... Now we're starting to get some distance in between myself and that St. Louis. Putting myself at an angle to deflect as many of his shots as possible. I just love the new gun sounds. They're so satisfying. We are going to be wanting to turn around pretty soon. We need to go take that B capture point before it's too late. Looks like there's a destroyer sitting in there. A few of our ships just on the outside. But we're looking pretty good. I've got B, a cruise... Okay, no more cruiser, the battleship, and another cruiser to my left. So now we'll try and head north and try and break through their line. Shouldn't be too hard. A battleship and a cruiser and a destroyer, that can be an issue. Especially for my battleship buddy, I'll try and get ahead of him. And then to his right, hopefully. People are focusing mainly on the battleship at the moment. He's at pretty low health. I'm just trying to get within gun range of these targets so I can start putting ordnance on them. Somebody's making knocking noises next door. It's kind of annoying. Okay, we can finally get some fire on this guy. St. Louis, I think. He's almost done for. This should do the trick if I don't miss. Ooh, lucky guy. And there he goes. I think that's the fourth. I'm not too worried about the battleship. No, it could cause me some issues. But to be honest, mainly I'm worried about that destroyer at the moment. It's a good place for him, a narrow area. You could just put a torpedo spread across that channel and prevent me from being able to get in there. But this battleship to my right is starting to become a bit of a worry. The World of Warships replays can be weird. Okay, good. We are capturing C now. Scores are advantage to the enemy team at the moment, but we are catching up quickly. Oh geez, starting to take some fire from that battleship. I'm pretty low health. A good salvo for good salvo from that. We're done for. I gotta get behind this mountain, so all I have to worry about is this destroyer. You've got 4, 5 guys on our side, and 3 guys on the other side. I think we lost all our aircraft carriers. I believe they still have an air... No, they don't. Just a battleship and a destroyer. That hurt. But now I think we've gotten our cover and we won't have to worry about that guy for the time being. Now we can just head into B and capture it. Boy, this ship sure took a beating this round. I don't think there's a single inch on it that isn't soldering mess of destroyed ship. I don't even know what that means. I don't know why you're maydaying. Much obliged. Well, we just have that destroyer to the north and this battleship that can't fire on me anymore. So yeah, we won this, obviously. It was a pretty good match. And I very much like this Kolberg. This is one low tier ship that I will definitely keep in my repertoire. Sort of like the St. Louis. Those ships that you just have to hop in and go for a match in every now and then. Because they just bring so much delight to your day. But as you see, we now have command of the seas. And the day is ours. Yeehaw. Great game. Great score. Great ranking. That was a fun one. So, until next time, good night.